They got bad care. This is horrible, what happened. It's just a violation of the public trust.
A Southern Indiana doctor can no longer see any patients now that the state's approved an emergency suspension of his license. Several male patients have accused Dr. Guirguis of Madison of sexual misconduct against them while he did routine medical exams. The Indiana Attorney General's office filed a petition against Guirguis, a primary care physician, and Wave News reporter Meredith Lee has been investigating the circumstances of the allegations against him.
Yeah, the petition Indiana's Attorney General filed has 17 separate claims. Each one describes a male patient sitting in an exam room, trusting their doctor. But the state says that trust was violated. On February 12th, the state of Indiana asked the Medical Licensing Board to pull Dr. Guirguis' license, calling him a clear and immediate danger to the public. Guirguis had been a primary care physician at Norton King's Daughters Health in Madison for nearly 17 years. The state's petition outlines what multiple male patients say happened during their exams. The filing says Guirguis performed genital and prostate exams without wearing gloves. He's also accused of making sexual comments to patients during those exams. And in some cases, Indiana's Attorney General says he performed prostate exams on patients who didn't even meet the medical guidelines for that screening.
A brave individual called in and told us his story, and we believed him, and then we decided we needed to do something to help him and the public.
Attorneys at Isaacs & Isaacs, who represent several of the men, say that first call opened the door to others.
We have reason to believe that there are a lot of men that have been affected by this doctor. We're seeing a lot of phone calls from men just wanting to start the conversation.
Records showed Norton King's Daughters Health terminated Guirguis in December, citing, quote, grossly unprofessional conduct. But the first formal complaint against him was filed 8 months earlier, in April of last year. When we asked Norton about that 8-month gap, the hospital did not address it. In a statement, Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing and Communications Officer Renee Murphy said only, quote, Dr. Michael Guirguis is no longer employed with our organization. Our team has worked closely with patients to continue their care. The state's case has also been flagged for review by the Medicaid Fraud Control Unit, suggesting the investigation may extend beyond the abuse claims.
And his license has been suspended, and we're trying to make sure that it's permanent.
We reached out to Dr. Guirguis' attorney and the Indiana Medical Licensing Board. Neither responded before our deadline. The emergency suspension is in effect for up to 90 days while the investigation continues. If you were a patient of Dr. Guirguis and you want to come forward, you can do so confidentially. A link to resources is on our website. Meredith Lee, Wave News.
All right, Meredith.